Chosen one. This message is not an accident. It found you at the exact moment you were meant to receive it. You didn't stumble upon this video. 30-second powerful hook. Saturday isn't just another day on the calendar. It's a divine appointment. Something is aligning in the unseen for your favor. You've been praying, waiting, hopping, and now heaven is about to respond. What looks like coincidence is about to prove itself as confirmation. Don't sleep on this. The shift begins Saturday. You need to be ready. God doesn't speak by accident. And when He marks a specific day, it's because something spiritual is unlocking. Saturday has been chosen for you. There's a release coming. A weight lifting. A silent door creaking open that no one else can see. But you'll feel it. You'll wake up with a strange sense of calm. Not the kind that makes you lazy. The kind that makes you aware. Like your spirit is listening for something. That's not just your mind. That's the whisper of God. He's been preparing you for this. All the heartbreak, the delays, the closed doors. They were not punishments. They were spiritual setups. Because if those things had worked out, you wouldn't be in the position you're in now. This Saturday is your moment. Heaven is aligning the right people, the right timing, and the right words. You won't have to force anything. What belongs to you will come towards you without begging. You'll begin to notice people reaching out after months of silence, unexpected breakthroughs, ideas dropping into your mind at the exact moment you needed them. And peace, unshakable peace, like you've finally stepped into the flow of your calling. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You're not cursed. You are being positioned. This Saturday is a divine signal. A fresh start without starting over. God is saying, get ready to walk into rooms you didn't even knock on. Opportunities you didn't even ask for. And blessings that were already written in your name. The enemy tried to distract you this week. Tried to wear you down. Tried to make you question your worth, your path, your voice. But he failed. Because you're still here. Still breathing. Still believing. Even if it's just by a thread. That's what qualifies you. Not perfection, not power. But persistence. God saw that. And now Saturday is His answer. It may not be loud. It may not come with lightning or fire from the sky. But it will come. A moment. A sign. A shift. A feeling deep in your spirit that something just changed. And even if you can't explain it, you'll know. This is divine timing. Not 1 second too early. Not 1 minute too late. Everything you lost. Everything that slipped through your fingers. Everything that made you question if God forgot about you. It all led here. To this Saturday. To this turning point. To this window in time where your obedience collides with His favor. You didn't need to chase what left. Because what's coming has been sent. Tailored for your spirit. Prepared for your destiny. Marked with your name in heaven's ink. That's why your spirit feels restless right now. Because the old season is suffocating. And the new one is being born this Saturday. God is saying, I kept you hidden for a reason. I isolated you to prepare you. And now I'm about to reveal why it had to be this way. So don't waste time explaining your journey to people who weren't called to walk it. They won't get it. They weren't supposed to. Because what's about to happen in your life isn't for validation. It's for manifestation. Chosen one, you're stepping into prophecy. Not the kind written by man, but the kind whispered by God before you were even born. Let them doubt. Let them talk. Let them wonder. But this Saturday, they're going to see what God saw in you all along. You've been fighting silent battles. smiling on the outside while bleeding on the inside, walking through life like nothing's wrong, while your soul screams for a sign that this pain has a purpose. And now, that purpose is about to reveal itself. Saturday isn't just a date. It's a shift in the spiritual realm, a door unlocking that was always meant for you, but couldn't open until you were ready. You had to be crushed. You had to be humbled. You had to lose some things and people, so your heart could be emptied, to make room for the blessing that's coming. Don't be surprised if Saturday feels different. The atmosphere around you might shift. You might feel a weight lift off your shoulders out of nowhere. You might even cry without knowing why. That's release. That's spiritual warfare breaking. That's chains falling off you, chains you didn't even realize you were still carrying. You've carried burdens for so long. You forgot what light feels like. But Saturday, you'll remember. This is what the enemy didn't want. This is why the attacks got heavier, why the delays got longer, why the silence felt unbearable. Because he knew, if you made it to this day, something unstoppable would be set in motion. You're not just walking into a new chapter. You're stepping into your appointed moment. Everything around you may still look the same, but spiritually, everything is shifting. The people who counted you out, they'll start hearing your name in rooms you've never entered. The doors that kept slamming shut, they'll begin to open on their own. And the voices that doubted you, they'll go quiet because God's evidence will speak louder than their opinions. This Saturday, you won't need to prove yourself. Your glow will speak. Your peace will preach. Your favor will be undeniable. Because when God marks a moment in time, nothing in hell can cancel it. You see, chosen one, this isn't just about one day. It's about what this day represents. It's about a shift in your spiritual timeline, where everything the enemy tried to delay gets pulled back into alignment. This Saturday, heaven is hitting resume on what life tried to pause. And don't be surprised if certain people fall off, if certain plans get disrupted, if certain things you thought were good suddenly don't feel right anymore. That's not confusion. That's clarity. God is rearranging the scene so that the right players are in position. You've outgrown some environments. You've outgrown some conversations. You've even outgrown some parts of yourself. And now, heaven is tailoring your atmosphere to match your anointing. This is what happens when divine timing collides with divine identity. You begin to feel uncomfortable in places you once craved, because God is preparing to take you somewhere your past can't follow. Don't fear the disconnects. Don't chase what tries to leave. Anything that exits your life before Saturday was never part of the next chapter. You've cried enough. You've questioned enough. You've settled long enough. But this time, God isn't just sending you a blessing, He's sending you proof. Proof that you were always chosen. Proof that the pain had purpose. Proof that your name was never forgotten in heaven. And when it comes, you won't have to convince anyone, because what's about to be placed in your hands will speak for itself. This is the moment where faith becomes sight, where silence becomes strategy, where obscurity becomes elevation. This Saturday, you're not just walking into breakthrough. You're stepping into recognition. You've been hidden for a reason. Not because you weren't ready, but because they weren't ready to see you. God covered you in silence, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Because what's on your life is too rare to be exposed too early. But now, the season of hiding is ending. The season of proving is over. This Saturday marks the beginning of the season of revealing. You're about to be seen, not for who they thought you were, but for who God always knew you were. You won't need to raise your voice. You won't need to fight for attention. You won't need to chase validation. Because when God reveals a chosen one, He makes the room pay attention. Every overlooked seed you've sown, every prayer whispered through tears, every lonely night when you begged heaven for a sign, God remembered. And now He's saying, I haven't forgotten your faithfulness in the silence. I haven't ignored your obedience when no one was watching. And I'm about to reward you publicly for what you endured privately. Don't be surprised when it comes fast. Don't be shocked when it feels sudden. Because when God moves, He moves in ways that leave no doubt He was involved. You're about to see favor you didn't ask for, support you didn't expect, doors you didn't knock on open. Why? Because the time is now. Because this Saturday was written into your story before you were even born. There is a reason the enemy tried to wear you down before this week. He sensed the atmosphere changing. He knew your name was being discussed in heaven. But what he didn't know was that your endurance was the final key. And now, nothing can stop what's been released over your life. You didn't need a spotlight to be chosen. You didn't need applause to be anointed. What God placed on your life was never about public opinion. It was about divine assignment. That's why they couldn't figure you out. Why people try to box you in, question your pace, doubt your progress. But they weren't supposed to understand. Because your journey was custom designed by heaven. And now, the proof of that journey is about to manifest. Starting Saturday, the favor coming isn't ordinary. It's not something you can explain logically. It's not attached to your resume, your background, or your status. It's supernatural compensation for what you suffered in silence, for how you stayed when others walked away, for how you loved God when life gave you no reason to. This is the kind of moment where destiny overtakes delay, where restoration overtakes loss, where suddenly becomes your new reality. Don't underestimate what one day can carry. Don't assume it's going to be just another Saturday. Because on God's calendar, this is marked in gold. This is the day where prayers return with answers, where waiting turns into witnessing, where confusion turns into clarity. God is about to open your eyes, not to show you what's next, but to show you why everything before had to happen. The betrayal, the rejection, the closed doors, the sleepless nights. They weren't punishments. They were protection. He was keeping you out of places that couldn't carry your calling. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to break the mold. And now, this Saturday, you're being released into the life that was waiting for you all along. The delay was divine. The pain was prophetic. And the reward will be undeniable. God is not just giving you a moment. He's giving you a mark that says, this one is mine, a chosen vessel, set apart, not for popularity, but for purpose. This Saturday is not about luck. It's about divine orchestration, the kind where invisible threads start connecting. Things fall into place without effort. People cross your path without planning. Answers arrive without you even asking. That's when you know heaven is behind this. You've cried long enough. Not just tears of pain, but tears of confusion. Asking God, why not me? Why the delays? Why does it feel like nothing is moving? But what you didn't realize is that while you were waiting, God was working. He was moving pieces behind the scenes. shielding you from fake opportunities, delaying connections that would have destroyed your peace, closing doors that looked good, but would have wrecked your soul. You thought he was silent, but he was strategic. And now all of it is turning. You're about to walk into rooms where your name was already discussed, into favor that's been circling above your life, waiting for the green light, into timing that's finally matured into manifestation. This Saturday, something will break in the spirit. A chain, a pattern, a cycle that kept repeating in your life. It ends here. Don't question how. Don't worry about when. Just position your heart. Stay aligned. Stay still. And stay sensitive. Because what's coming won't require striving. It will come by divine instruction. One whisper from God can shift your entire direction. And when it does, you'll know it wasn't coincidence. It was confirmation. A moment designed with your name carved into its center. Saturday is not just a day. It's your evidence. There's a reason the warfare increased this week. A reason your mind felt heavy. Your spirit felt unsettled. And everything around you tried to make you doubt what God said. Because the enemy always hits hardest before a divine release. He wanted you to give up right before the breakthrough. He wanted you to walk away, to throw in the towel, to believe the lie that nothing's changing. But chosen one, you didn't fold. You didn't quit. You stood your ground, even if you were shaking. And now heaven is responding. God is not just rewarding you with answers. He's entrusting you with more. With clarity. With deeper discernment. With access that can't be earned, only granted. This Saturday, the shift won't just be around you. It'll be inside you. You'll feel lighter. More sure. More confident in your no. More intentional with your yes. Things that used to drain, you won't even get a reaction. People that once triggered you won't even matter anymore. Because when God lifts a burden, He also lifts your perspective. The version of you that doubted, that begged for attention, that settled for less. That version is dying this week. What's rising is authority. What's rising is awareness. What's rising is a version of you who no longer waits for permission to step into purpose. This is what the process was always about. Not just getting to the blessing, but becoming the person who could carry it without breaking. Chosen one. You're ready. More ready than you feel. More qualified than you think. More anointed than they ever expected. That's why God circled this Saturday. Because everything is about to change. And this time, it's not going to slip through your fingers. This time, you're not going to sabotage it. Not with doubt. Not with fear. Not with guilt over outgrowing what no longer fits. Because now you understand. This is sacred. This moment. This season. This shift. You've been entrusted with something holy. A destiny that carries weight. A calling that breaks cycles, not just for you, but for generations after you. That's why the fire had to be so hot. That's why the test had to be so long. Because what you're carrying is not ordinary. And God couldn't let it fall into immature hands. So He let you go through the wilderness. He let people leave. He let you face nights that felt endless. Just to make sure that when you stepped into your moment, you'd never confuse the gift with the giver. And now, that moment is approaching. This Saturday, something sacred is being released over your life. You may not even feel it at first, but the spirit realm will know. Hell will tremble, and heaven will rejoice, because one of God's hidden ones, you, is about to be revealed. Not for fame, not for status, but for impact. Your voice is about to carry a weight it never had before. Your presence will command rooms without needing to speak. Not because of who you are, but because of who sent you. This is bigger than you imagined. God didn't just save you for survival. He saved you for assignment. And this Saturday, that assignment enters motion. You'll look back on this week and say, that was the week everything changed. Not visibly at first, but spiritually, internally, eternally. Heaven's calendar has moved, and your name is in bold. This is your divine appointment. This is why the enemy worked overtime to distract you, to make you second-guess what you already knew deep in your soul. Because once you walk through this door, he loses his grip. He loses access to your mind. He loses influence over your emotions. He loses the ability to delay what God already approved. You're not who you were 6 months ago. You're not even who you were last week. That pain didn't break you. It built you. It taught you how to hear God in silence, how to trust Him without a map, how to walk forward even with a shattered heart. That's what made you unstoppable. That's what prepared you for this release. And now, you're no longer begging for tables. You're building them. You're no longer chasing people. You're attracting purpose. This Saturday will confirm what your spirit has been sensing. The season has shifted. And so have you. You've outgrown survival mode. Now it's time to thrive. You've outgrown begging for crumbs. Now it's time to sit at the feast God prepared for you. It's not pride. It's prophecy. You're not forcing a moment. You're stepping into one. One that was crafted for you long before the pain ever touched your life. The delay didn't cancel the promise. It strengthened the carrier. Chosen one. The oil in your life is undeniable now. Not because man approved you, but because God refined you. The way you see, the way you speak, even the way you carry silence. It holds authority, heavenly authority. So don't shrink this weekend. Don't doubt the signs. Don't play small to make others comfortable. This is your moment. And when God says it's time, not even the gates of hell can say otherwise. Now listen, chosen one. If your spirit was stirred, if something deep inside you knows this word was for you, then don't let it stop here. Subscribe to Chosen Core so you never miss a divine message again. Because what's coming next won't just confirm your calling. It will catapult you into it. Stay ready, stay alert, stay chosen. Your journey has just begun.